So moved.
Second.
All right. Any discussion? Let me discuss for the record. We don't have on the printed agenda a place for speakers who've requested to speak, and I propose, if there's no objection, that we'd amend the agenda by including an opportunity for speakers who've requested time to speak, that we allow them 5 minutes per person after the old business and before new business. Is there any objection to adding that item to the agenda?
So moved.
Okay. All right. So without objection, we'll amend the agenda accordingly. Next item is the approval of the minutes of the prior meeting with some additions and corrections furnished to the commissioners before the meeting. Are there any other additions or corrections to the minutes as distributed? If not, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Motion carries unanimously. Still no sign of Commissioner Scovel.
Not yet. I sent him the Zoom link again.
Okay. Let's see if I've got a message from him. No. All right. Well, let's proceed with staff reports and recommendations. Director's report. First item is redistricting.
Okay, so in your emails, I sent you the population totals of the 8 sub-districts in Independence. Brad has done some research on what the threshold was to redraw sub-district lines. And if it found that if it wasn't over 10%, that the lines didn't need to be redrawn for the 8 sub-districts in Independence. And it's the percentage is 9.2 population shift between the largest council district and the smallest. So we recommend that the sub-district lines not be redrawn. And we'll let you all consider the action. It's up to you to approve or disapprove. Quickly, though, we are getting lines in for the cities. City of Blue Springs has submitted lines. Buckner has changes. Lee Summit has changes. Greenwood has been sent to them. City of Oak Grove, we're working on their lines, waiting on several of the other cities. Those with no changes are the City of Grandview and the City of Sugar Creek. So we know there will be no changes in that. City of Independence will not submit their new lines until after April 2022 elections. So once they submit theirs, we hope to be changing Independence council district lines along with hopefully congressional Senate lines.
Okay. And so your recommendation again is what?
To not redraw the sub-district lines for the City of Independence. As
Okay.
you know, I mean, everybody else has township lines. Independence, being as large as they are, is broken down in 8 sub-districts. And I believe we redrew the lines 10 years ago. And since it falls under 10%, there's really no need to redraw those lines for this census year. Vernon has arrived.
I hate Zoom.
Morning, Vernon. I'm still not seeing your face on my screen, but I've got your name appearing.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. We have begun the meeting and we've adopted the agenda with the additional provision. We're going to invite our voters who've requested time to speak. We put them just before new business. Otherwise, the agenda is adopted and we've heard from staff on the redistricting report. Any questions from commissioners on the redistricting report and recommendation? Any questions from commissioners? I think I should have said. All right, we've got that listed for action under item 5B, so we'll hold on any action there. Directors, any report update on the November election?
Election went very smoothly without any issues. All our equipment has been retrieved and damage-free, which is always really good. We finished tabulating and reported out on the website by 8:50 p.m. that night, and there was 11.65% turnout. And all post-election reports have been reconciled and we're ready to certify.
Okay, very good. Questions, comments about certification or the election? Very good. Next agenda item is accounting reports. Are there any checks that need commissioner signature or approval?
No checks.
Okay, all up to date there. Any other special reports from staff?
Other than addressing the sub-district, that's all we have.
Okay, Commissioner Carner.
Do we need to make a motion, Mr. Chairman, on that redistricting issue?
Yes, when we come to item 5 on the agenda, that's where we'll take up motions.
Forgive me.
We're ready for number 5, so you're right on time, Henry. Another question? Okay, item 5.1 is to certify the November election. Is there a motion to certify the November election results?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Is there a motion regarding the blue sub-district redistricting drawing lines?
I make the motion.
Okay,
Second.
okay. Is the motion that we take no action on redrawing those lines?
Correct.
Okay, and that's the second.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded that we not take action to redraw the blue sub-district redistricting lines. Is there any discussion on that item? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. That motion carries unanimously. All right, any other old business? All right, this is the point where we're going to invite the registered voters who's asked for time to speak. We'll ask April Lejeune if the host would unmute her microphone. We'll allow her to speak for 5 minutes. Welcome, Ms. Lejeune. All right, it is our board policy, Ms. Lejeune, that we receive your questions and we'll have our directors respond to the questions after the meeting, but we will not have commissioners answer questions during the meetings. All right, have you completed your statement? Okay, very good. All right, we'll hear from Ms. Early. No, we mentioned our policy is that we'll receive your questions and we receive them, and we're going to respond in writing. So we have answered your questions. We answer them in writing, and I realize you're not satisfied, but we have answered, and that's the board's policy. All right, Ms. Early, welcome.
Pretty much April has addressed pretty much everything, but I think the 5 minutes is a little too little. 10 minutes would be sufficient for the speakers. So Tammy says 10, you say 5 when we get in here. I think we want 10. But other than that, I have no comments. I'm just taking notes at this point.
Okay.
And I yield my time.
All right, thank you very much. All right, there are no other speakers who requested time. So is there any new business? All right. Any other questions or comments by commissioners? All right, hearing none, we do have the need for an executive session today. And so we'll go into executive session to discuss a legal advice matter, to receive legal advice on an issue. And following that, we'll come back into public session, but we don't know what time that will be. But the purpose of coming back to session will only be to finally adjourn the meeting because we've concluded the material for public session except for legal counsel.
Excuse me, Steve Myers has a question.
All right, he can submit the questions in writing without asking in advance. It's our policy not to take questions. But if folks want to send questions in advance before our next meeting or tell us they want to speak or ask questions, we'll take those. But otherwise, they can submit them in writing. They can submit them in the chat. But it's our policy not to do Q&A during the session with the speakers. We give them their full time. All right. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of going to executive session, say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed, say no. Motion carries. So this